Hey everybody, it's Tia DeShay. Today is Sunday, April 10th, 2022. It's 4:35 p.m. and this is a mirrored moment message with Tia DeShay. I am Tia DeShay. I write now so others can remember later. I produce Purpose from Chaos. I am a spiritual teacher for social, generational, and personal change. It is my intention on this channel to fulfill the scriptural mandate of Jeremiah 1:9. Then the Lord reached out his hand and touched my mouth and said to me, I have put my words in your mouth. And Revelation 10:11, then I was told, you must prophesy again about many peoples, nations, languages, and kings. It is my prayer for Matthew, the 13th chapter and the 35th verse, to unfold in my life, ministry, and practice. So was fulfilled what was spoken through the prophet. I will open my mouth in parables. I will utter things hidden since the creation of the world. Once again, this is Tia DeShay, and this is a mirrored moment message with Tia DeShay. Now, I don't know where this is going to go, but it's going to be a culmination of so many things. This will be posted on my app. This will be posted on my Facebook page. And this will also be on my YouTube page, this message. And it's specifically for Black people. Most of what I do, the number one intention is for Black people. Because I'm not understanding Black people. I'm not understanding just where we're headed as a people. And I'm not concerned with any other race because I'm not of that race. I'm not of that ethnicity. I'm not of that geographical location. I came to this earth plane in this skin for a reason, and that is what I'm focused on. And that is for Black people. This could be probably maybe labeled as a prophetic message because most of the things I say are prophetic and they come to pass. I would say I have 100% success rate in the things that I say. If it doesn't come past today, tomorrow, it'll come to pass. Trust me when I tell you. We really, Black people really have to, it is time out for just being angry all the time, being negative all the time, not forgiving, walking around with a grudge, just walking around mean all the time, always have something negative to say about somebody, gossiping, just messy, just always, talking underneath your breath when you see somebody, or being passive aggressive with it. You talk at someone, but not to someone. So you say it loud enough for them to hear it, but you don't have the courage to directly just confront them and just let them know the issue that you may have with them, like one-on-one. You got to do it in a way where to cause a scene, to be messy, to be drama filled. And it's like, people, enough is enough. I taught high school for at least 15 years. At least 15 years. And that behavior I expected from high school students. I expect that behavior because you're still growing, you're still developing, you're still maturing. it's a lot of cognitive, emotional, mental development that's still going on at that age. So that kind of behavior was expected. It was, and my one of my jobs, or one of my roles as a teacher, was to help facilitate that particular stage in a young person's life, and help them, facilitate them to the right way, the right path, giving them an alternative um, to their behaviors. But like I said, in high school, you expect that to be what it is. But once you get past 30, I say 25, from 25 on up, enough is enough. Like, it should be focused on, what are you doing with your life? What you're going to do with your life? You know, are you going to work a job until you retire? What does retirement look like to you? Do you want a family? If you already have a family, if you're already married or have children, what do you want for your marriage or your relationship or your children? Financially, what are your financial goals? Spiritually, what are your spiritual goals? What are your emotional goals? Like, by the time you hit 25, what you did in high school you should not be repeating that behavior in your late 20s, your 30s, and your 40s. And definitely you still acting this way in your 50s. We're not going to go beyond that. We're going to stay between 25 and 45. Like, that's ridiculous. And especially if you're between that age group and you have children. Don't you want to show a better example and be a better example to your children? And then if you're a parent and you're engaging in that behavior with your children, like, what? Like, does that make you cool with your children? No, they end up resenting you as they get older, because they look at you as messy. They look at you as drama filled. They look at you as, every time, you're around or you open your mouth, it's always some drama. It's always something going down. And it's all well and fine until people lose their lives, until property is damaged, until people lose their homes, until someone is seriously injured. And then it's, you want to cry and say the senseless violence has to stop. Well, you were part of it. You encouraged it, before it hit home, before it started affecting you on a different level. And that's the thing. People think that it's not going to affect them. It's not going to affect them on such an extreme level, until it does. It always does. You reap what you sow. Every action has a reaction. And the biggest thing is the fact that we're looking at people who are like in their 30s and 40s, who don't take responsibility for their actions. They want to blame everybody else for their problems instead of pointing the finger at them. Everything in your life is a result of something you did or didn't do. It's nobody else's fault but yours. You decided to act that way. You decided, to think, to act before thinking. You decided that. And to not take responsibility, and to be so angry all the time. Anger, hatred just makes you ugly. It makes you bitter. And it kills your body. You die a slow death. Your organs start to shut down. Excuse me. Your organs start to shut down. You start getting sick. Your immune system is weakened because you're just so angry all the time. You just angry. And you think it's everybody's fault but your own. And there's no connection to no type of spiritual practice. I'm not saying go to church. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you gotta believe in Allah or Jesus or read the Bible or the Quran. But how is it that you don't believe in you don't have a spiritual practice? You don't have something that you tap into to calm you, to navigate the emotions that you're feeling. What your spiritual practice is I'm gonna smoke a cigarette. I'm gonna smoke some weed. I'm gonna get drunk. And all that's doing is killing your body, killing your mind, killing your spirit. You don't engage in anything that causes you to look at yourself and make the necessary adjustments, because you don't want to do that. All you want to do is bitch and complain and blame everybody else for your situation. You spend half your waking hours on your phone or watching TV and having somebody else think for you instead of you thinking for yourself. You think that a relationship is going to um, save you from your past sins, that you don't have to absolve or rectify or correct anything you did in the past. Oh, I just get into a relationship and, you know, he'll take care of me. He'll take care of the kids or our kids together or whatever the situation may be. Or I'll get with her and everything will be fine. You don't spend 15, 20 years in jail, but I'll get with her and everything will be fine. I'm starting new. Let me start new. So I get out of jail and I'll, get married, be a good father or be a good mother, start new. Don't hang around the same people that I hung with that got me 15 to 20 years in prison or got me a criminal record. I'll just avoid those people. I'll move. I'll start anew. And then you find yourself in the same situation again. A relationship is not going to erase your past. People really do think that they can move. They can come out of prison or jail, and they can come out of prison, get married, have some kids, or even if you don't get married, you get in a relationship, have some kids, start a family, and you think, go to work and you think, oh, I'm changed and I'm a new person. No, you're not. Because all you did was just put a Band-Aid on you. You haven't even addressed what landed you in jail in the first place. What caused you to respond in the way that you did that landed you in jail or that landed you a criminal record. You haven't resolved any of that. And people can say, well, yeah, when I was in jail, I was able to do a lot of thinking. But then you come out and you do the same thing. That means that all you did was think in jail. You didn't change. You didn't change who you were. You just thought. Because that's all you had to do. That's all you could do. You basically adjusted to your environment, but you didn't really do a change of behavior, a change of character, a change of mindset. You just adjusted to your environment. And since you had all this time in your environment to think and to read, then that's what you did. But you really didn't change. How do you know that you didn't change? Is because when you're triggered, you respond the same way that landed you in jail or that landed you with the criminal record. Relationships don't change that, people. Moving don't change that. Stop not associating with those people who put you in that position. It doesn't change that. The only thing that can change you not repeating your past is you doing a complete mental makeover, emotional and spiritual makeover, meaning taking responsibility for your actions. Stop blaming everybody else. Stop being negative and critical and judgmental. Stop lying. Stop trying to scheme and scam. Stop talking about people. Do you realize that every time you talk negatively about somebody, you're just really basically blessing them, blessings upon blessings upon blessings upon blessings on them? See, nobody tells us that. We think that, oh, if we talk negatively about them, that we're going to block their success and block their blessings. No. The more you talk about them, the more successful and the more blessed they become. And the more you talk about them, the more you take years off your life. Because that negative energy has to go somewhere. And it's going right back to you in your body. And it's breaking down your organs. Hair falling out, teeth falling out, dental problems, anxiety, stress, panic, can never catch a break, car problems, house problems, money problems. You spend it as quick as you make it. You can never come up. You do just enough to get by. That negative energy has to go somewhere, and it's going right back to you. It's like, people, when we gonna get it together? 30s and 40s and you still acting like you in high school. And then the people who entertain it, you're no better than the person who is engaging in the behavior. You entertaining it. They calling you and you like, yeah, girl, yep, You what? You're no better. Instead of telling them, look, I don't have time for this. You need to go to counseling, or maybe you need to get some help. Why are you so angry? Why does this person have so much control over you that every time you see them, you just get angry? You got something negative to say. You don't even check them on their behavior. Better yet, don't even answer the phone. Let them wallow in their misery by themselves. Because you're giving a lot of your power away on a daily basis to talk negative about somebody. Who wants to give anybody in this world that much power other than yourself? If you would put that much power and energy into yourself and your dreams and your goals, you will be so much further along than where you are. But you expended all that energy to talk about them and to be negative toward them and to gossip about them. Like, don't that get exhausting? And what kind of example is that setting to your children? And then you wonder when they get in school, when they fighting and arguing all the time. And you probably one of the parents that's up there like, yeah, no, fighting with your kid. Yelling and screaming at the administration, the principal, the assistant principal, the counselors, the teachers. Thinking that's cute. And it's not. And then posting it on social media. And then the people who respond to it on social media, you're no better. Like, somebody got to have the courage to check the person and be like, this ain't cute. Like, educators, people in education already have a hard enough time than to have to deal with you and your child's foolishness. Like, have the courage to tell people that when they posting that foolishness on social media, or when they calling you with that foolishness. Like, it's not okay to entertain that, because it's not helping that person to grow and to take accountability, and it's not helping you. And then it's really messed up when you listen and you co-signing, and then you get off the phone and you talk about them. Because I'm here to tell you, 9 times out of 10, the person that you're calling with all this drama and this foolishness, they're co-signing while they're on the phone with you. But as soon as they get off the phone with you, they're talking about you like a dog. They doing subliminal posts about you on social media. So you really don't have a listening ear. It's like we just got to do better, and we have to take responsibility for our actions. It's nobody's fault but your own for the situation that you're in. Nobody. Nobody. And those of you who are in relationships and you don't have a spouse, a boyfriend, or girlfriend telling you this, they co-signing your foolishness, I'm going to tell you right now, that relationship is not going to last. If they're co-signing the foolishness, if they're not checking you, if they're not putting a fire underneath you to be better, do better, apologize, adjust your behavior, grow up, why are y'all just two dysfunctional people in a relationship? And there's no growth there. How are you all growing? What are you all, working together? What are you all working toward together? You can't be, more drama, more dysfunction? Because that's about it. Because your partner should be there to check you, to be like, nah, you wasn't right. You need to adjust yourself. You need to check your behavior. That wasn't okay. You need to be a better example for yourself. And that's the main thing. Forget children, forget friends, forget who you're in a relationship with. The main thing is you need to be a better example and role model for yourself. When you look at yourself in the mirror, you should want to be a better person. Because there's nothing worse than getting to the end of your life. If you are so fortunate enough to even have a moment of reflection. Some people don't even get a moment of reflection. They are killed instantly. But if you get to the end of your life, or the moment where you're getting ready to transition, and you have a moment of reflection, just to sit and think about all the time you wasted and the energy you wasted being angry and bitter over people who ain't even thinking about you. They're living their life. They have moved on. They're not reliving the past. They're not reliving the events. Because that's all they have. That's the highlight of their life. Is that one event. Like, it is time for us, for Black people. I don't care if you go see a counselor or a therapist. You watch if you watch TBN, the Christian Network channel, if you watch inspirational Bishop T.D. Jakes on YouTube, and let me get into that. Stop basing or determining your relationship with God or higher being based on what you see other people do. That don't have nothing to do with you and your relationship with God, if you believe. What does anybody else's relationship with God have to do with yours? People, stop going to church, or stop praying, or stop having spiritual practices because they see a bunch of fake church people. Okay, but what does that got to do with your relationship with God? Who is God to you? To me, that shows To me, that shows when people, to me, it just shows that you're not an independent thinker. When you make excuses based on other people's actions. So what? So what? They, you know, appeared to look like a hypocrite in your eyes when it came to God and religion. Somebody could say the same thing about you. That they stopped doing something based on how they saw you act. See, we don't want to think about that. We don't want to think about, and I love it. I don't know who said it first, where it came from, but the saying that there's somebody right now sitting in a therapist's office because of you, going to see a counselor because of you. So don't get so high and mighty and think that you sprinkle glitter and sugar and spice wherever you go in life. There you have, need I say, fucked up somebody's mental in some way, shape, or form during your lifetime. So how can you get so high and mighty and sit up here and say, you know, what you not gonna do, what you not gonna believe in because of somebody else's behavior or actions? That means that you don't think for yourself, that you're heavily influenced by other people. Like, I've seen a lot of people. I grew up in the church. My life and relationship and journey and path with religion is amazing. It's phenomenal. I got stories for days. But at the end of the day, it was only one time in my life, and that's when I was 16 years old, that I determined and based my relationship with God on other people's behaviors. That was at 16. And it lasted for, I would say, it lasted a while. I want to say, it lasted for like maybe 10 years. And then I got it together. I was like, I can't keep basing this part of my life on what I've seen other people do or what I believe other people did to me in the name of God and religion. Like, eventually I told myself, girl, you got to grow up and you got to get over it and you got to stop blaming people and realize that was their relationship with God and religion. You are free to develop and choose your own relationship with God and religion, however you choose to do it. And stop giving those people power to miss out on a part of your life. That's the thing. You giving people power to miss out on a part of your life. Because you so wrapped up in what they did and what they said. Get over yourself. You need to figure it out. You need to figure out how you want that part of your life to look. And it can't be based on other people. Stop being so judgmental and critical of other people, like you are just, Mother Teresa, because you are not. And I'm sure Mother Teresa had her flaws. For those that really knew her, I'm sure it was some people that can say some things about her that weren't too kind. Because this message is it just all boils down to Black people are living their lives based on, they're living their lives in response to what other people have done to them, instead of choosing what they want their lives to look like. They are living their life based on what the news is telling them every night. They're living their life based on what social media is telling them. They're living their life based on what Hollywood, the entertainment industry is telling them. They're living their life based on what their mama said or didn't say, what their daddy said or didn't say, what their neighbors are doing, what they think their neighbors are doing. And it's just like, what about you just choosing your own life? Creating your own life? Why are you trying to be like everybody else? Because you're just seeing a glimpse of somebody's life. Just the part that you're privy to. You're not with them 24 hours, but you're making decisions based on what you see them doing for that fraction of time. How silly is that? You're grooming your children to be worried about what they have on their feet and the clothes that they have on, so they can impress people for the fraction of time that they see these people. Do you know that you're not going to even remember half of the, I'm going to even say half, more than half of the people you went to school with? You, not only are you not going to remember them, you're not going to even see them again. So why are you grooming your kids to be so concerned for that brief fraction of time about what they have on, about what they look like, what name brand they got on? For what? Because you didn't have it? So what? Yet the very people whose lives that you admire or are envious of, they're not even concerned with that. They're not even concerned with the name brands. Matter of fact, they're creating a brand and putting their children in that brand. Look at Beyonce. She created a brand and now her child is wearing her brand. That's the goal here, people. Not working, slaving 12, 13 hours a day to put your kid in somebody else's brand. If you're going to slave 12 or 13 hours a day, create your own brand and put your kid in that brand. But you can't do that because you're too consumed with talking about people and gossiping and lying and being angry and being bitter. So the time that you could be using to create generational wealth or create a legacy for you and your family, you're wasting it, consumed on somebody else's life who's not even thinking about you. The anger, the bitterness, it's got to stop. You got to forgive. If you do not forgive, if you do not seek forgiveness, first of all, seek forgiveness within yourself. Seek forgiveness from a higher power, from the God within you. And when I say that, I'm saying forgive the God within you for not acting divine, for not behaving divine, for not behaving like the God that you are, for forgetting how divine you really were. Do that first. Do that forgiveness first. Forgive yourself. Forgive the God within you for behaving less than what you really are. Then seek forgiveness to the person who you hurt or injured in some way, shape, or form. Because until you seek forgiveness, you will be forever tied to that person. You will be forever tied to that person. You need to seek forgiveness. And forgiveness is admitting to what you did wrong. Not just saying, "Oh, I apologize." What do you apologize for? It is speaking aloud what role you played in the situation. Acknowledging the wrongdoing that you committed in the situation. Forgiveness also means not repeating it. Forgiveness also means that person does not have to, that relationship does not have to be restored, and you have, and that you're okay with it. That's also forgiveness. Because people tend to think, oh, just because they, apologize, the person is supposed to take them back. The relationship is supposed to be what it was. And then they get mad when it's not. Then you really ain't sorry. You really are not apologetic. Because regardless if the relationship returns to what it was, actually, it's impossible for it to return to what it was. So regardless if the relationship is restored or not, if you are truly forgiving, or if you are truly apologetic, you're not going to be mad if the person decides to not continue the relationship with you. You're going to be okay with it. You're going to be at peace with it. You're not going to be angry. You're not going to be talking about them. You're not going to be like, I apologize. I don't know why they still acting like that. You're not truly apologetic. You still got some more healing to do. This is a time, we are coming into a time period. As long as you hold on to that anger and that bitterness and you point the finger and it's everybody's fault but yours, the consequences of that, you ain't ready for it. What I'm seeing, you're going to wish you had just apologized. You're going to be in a moment where you're going to realize an apology was so simple. Like, none of this would have occurred if I had just apologized, if I had just taken responsibility for my action. And not only are you going to face the consequences of it, but whoever in your life co-signed that behavior, they will face the consequences as well. If they never checked you and said, man, you was wrong, or girl, you was wrong, that was not okay. Like, I'm not even for that. Don't even talk to me about that. You was out of order. If they're not saying that to you, if every time you bring it up, they're not shutting you down and they're entertaining it by listening to it, they are going to reap the same consequences that you reap. It's for every action, there is a reaction. For every cause, there is an effect. You reap what you sow. And 9 times out of 10, I would dare to say 10 times out of 10, a person, it's not the first time they have displayed this behavior. Whether it's being angry, whether it's, yelling, screaming, cussing, hitting, fighting, destroying property, being involved in physical altercations, whatever it may be. I'm here to tell you this is not the first time they acted this way. This did not come out the blue, because a leopard don't change its spots. They have done this before. And the reason why they are repeating it is because, one, somebody allowed it and didn't check them and discipline them. Like when they were younger, they didn't whoop their behind, or they didn't punish them, or they just let them behave that way, and there was no consequences to their behavior. So they repeat it again because they feel like, oh, well, I got away with it. I told them, and yeah, I was the baddest bitch, and yeah, look at me. I bet you they won't do that no more. Nobody ever checked them. So they go around thinking that way. And typically, that's why they keep repeating the behavior, because nobody ever checked them. Nobody ever punished them for their actions, or they got away with it. Like they did something in the dark and they got away with it. And so it's like a drug. It's like an addiction. You get away with it one time, you're going to keep going back to it. Or they attempted to, maybe they did get punished for it. They got caught. And they attempted to run away from the situation. Oh, I'll just move out the neighborhood. I'll stop associating with those people. I'll start a new life. Thinking that will erase everything, end everything, and it doesn't. You have to make amends. You have to apologize to the people. And you have to correct your behavior. Also, if there's any, you have to pay your debt to that person, whatever that debt may be. You have to pay the debt to that person. For some people, paying the debt is simply an apology. For some people, they may have to serve some jail time. That's paying their debt to that person. For some people, they might have to pay like restitution. That's paying the debt to the person. Paying it in full. That's paying the debt to the person. It's a myriad of ways based on your experience, your life path, on how you have to repay that debt. But the debt must be repaid. Otherwise, you're going to keep making the same mistake. I won't even say mistake. You're going to keep repeating the same behavior. I'm here to tell you, you can't run from your past. You can't run from it. You cannot run from it. In some way, shape, or form, it's going to come back to you, and you're going to have to deal with it. Or you're going to keep repeating the same things, the same behavior. Getting into a relationship, quote unquote, starting a new life is not going to erase your past. Until you confront it and until you deal with it. I can tell you from experience, the only reason things have stopped repeating in my life from my past is because I confronted it and I dealt with it. I did the I'm telling you, forgiveness is major. I did the forgiveness. And I changed me. I stopped blaming other people. I stopped making other people accountable for the things that were going on in my life. And I made the decision that I create my life, and anything that I don't like about my life, I can change it. Anything I don't like about my life is because in some way, shape, or form, I chose this. You chose your life. Wherever you are right now, whether you like it or not, you chose it. You actively, consciously made a decision to be where you are. It's nobody else's fault but your own. Take responsibility for it. That's the only way your past, I'm hearing to say that's the only way your past is going to be erased. You got to do those things. You got to forgive. You got to take accountability, and you got to work on you. You ain't working. We not praying this prayer, oh, please change them, please change. No, it's change you. That's the only way your past will be erased. I'm saying it again and again and again for whoever is going to listen to this message. You cannot think that you can go get married, you can go move, you can go become a minister, all of that, and think that your past is going to be erased. It's not. You have to forgive. You have to change yourself. You got to change your mind. You got to do things differently. Whatever you did that led to that situation that you think that you're starting over from, that was in your past, you can't continue to do those things anymore. So if, you were hanging around the wrong people, you were lying and scheming and stealing and doing drugs and having a smart mouth and talking back and just a taker. You just a taker. You don't give to nobody. You just take, 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 take. If you were doing all of that, partying and drinking and talking about people and causing drama and instigating and lying and scheming, and if you're still doing that, those same behaviors, your past will never be erased. It will be repeated. You got to do a complete 360. I'm telling you, it's not enough to say, I'm going to go get married and I'm going to go move. I'm going to go relocate. Yeah, how's that working out for you? It's not going to change. You're going to have to do some drastic changing. If you didn't read before, if you never picked up a book, all you did was watch TV, you was always on your phone, you was always hanging out, and then you're doing the same thing, you're going to repeat your past. You're not going to have anything different in your life. You're going to repeat your past. It's just that simple. Like, no one is telling us these things, but I'm telling you these things. Your past can be erased, but you gotta be a completely different person. If you're not giving, I don't even understand how can you live in this world and you just take, 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 take. And you only give because you feel like you gotta give. Because somebody gave to you, so you gotta give. No, that's the wrong spirit of giving. Like, you just take. You take, 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 take. And you don't share. You don't give. And everything is mine, 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 mine. My name is on this car. And my name is on this house. So I get to do what I want to do. Okay, how's that working for you? And you just always begging, always got your hand out. but you never give anything in return. You're not volunteering your time somewhere. You're not mentoring a young person and telling them about, don't make the same mistakes I did. Do better, be better. You're not volunteering your time maybe at a homeless shelter, or go read a book to some kids in a school, or you know beautify the neighborhood, volunteer, just something of giving of your time. You don't give any of your time. You don't give to nobody. And it's not even necessarily money, but you don't give. You just sit in a house all day and you watch TV and you're on your phone and you bitch and complain and you whine and you cry and you negative Nancy and feel bad Fred. And you stalk people's pages and you get mad when you see that they're successful because they can't be successful because of what they did to you. And you don't give. How can you live a life and not give? How can you live a life and not be of service? Not knock on your neighbor's door, the elders in the community, and say, hey, do you need to go, you need something from the grocery store? I'm going to the grocery store. Do you need me to pick up some things for you? Or just knock on their door and make sure they still alive. Just selfish. Always got your hand out. But your money is mine, 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 mine. And the only time you give it to your kid is to put name brands on them so it make it look like you a good parent. Tell me how that makes sense. That's the only time you give to your kid is to put name brands on them to make it look like you a good parent. That's the only reason you give to your kids. Otherwise, it's sit down, shut up, stop talking to me. You throw a phone or a tablet in their face and tell them to get out your face. Go play. Enough is enough, people. It's foolishness and it's senseless and it's nonsense. And you're doing this to yourself. No one else is doing this to you. If you don't apologize, I'm telling you what's about to come. You're going to wish you had to just apologize and changed your behavior and changed your life and changed the way you thought and the way you think. The way you thought and the way you think. And changed your behavior. And if and a lot of our anger issues is really rooted in our childhood with our parents or whoever took care of us. We need to go back and heal that. And if the parent is not alive, you need to find a way to heal it anyway. And we need to change our behavior. Just because our parents died broke does not mean that's okay and that's just the way it is. It's not okay that we have to do a GoFundMe when we have to bury somebody. That's not okay. It's not okay um, that we gotta rob Peter to pay Paul to bury our loved ones. It's not okay that if our children want to, go to school or travel, they gotta rely on an outside agency in order to make that happen. That's not okay. but yet you spent thousands and thousands of dollars just to put Nikes on their feet. You'll spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a prom. So you have the money. It's just what you choose to invest in. Not saying that our children shouldn't have nice things, but at the end of the day, if they have a business idea, I think they would much rather you invest in their startup costs for their business than to buy the shoes. They would much rather have had that money to start up their business, or they would have much rather had that money to buy their own car without going into debt, or to purchase their own home without having to mortgage it out. No excuses. No excuses. People can make excuses. Oh, you don't know my life, and stop it. Stop it. You chose to be where you are right now. You chose it. You want to be pity party Patty, and you just want a sob story. And I said this in a post I made on my Instagram page. I said this. I said, for those, basically it was this, that, it's a lot of people who live for people feeling sorry for them. And they feel sorry for them, so they'll donate to them. They'll help pay. They'll help get them out of a financial bind, like these different government programs, local programs, state programs, federal programs, that help you with different things in your life, things like that. And it's people who really, their life revolves around that, finding all kind of programs where it's things for free. Whether it's a church, a local organization, and they're giving something away for free. Like, they literally live their lives around that. And I wrote in the post to be very careful of wanting people to feel sorry for you, because in order for someone to feel sorry for you, they have to first think that you are sorry. I'm going to say that again. In order for someone to feel sorry for you, they have to first think that you are sorry. So while you think that you're taking advantage of all of these local programs, and, they're giving you money for this and money for that, and, free programs for your child and things like that, and you thinking they're doing it because they feel sorry for your situation, and, oh, you had just such a hard life. Well, they think that you're sorry to begin with. And so you keep perpetuating that energy of people looking at you like you're just a sorry individual that can't do anything for themselves, that they just can't seem to come up because they just so sorry and so useless and can't find a place and purpose in the world. But how long do you think that's going to last? So like I said, you can't run away. You cannot run away from your past. The only way you're going to erase your past is forgiveness and doing a complete 360. Whatever you did before creating the past that you're trying to run away from or start over from, you can no longer do that. And it may seem so minute, it may seem so type A, but I'm serious. Whatever you were doing before then, you cannot do that now, or you will repeat your past. I can guarantee you, if I sit down and I work with you and I ask you to tell me just your daily activity, what were you doing? What were you doing on a daily basis? What did your life look like? What did the activity of your life look like before this dramatic change of events? Before, maybe you went to jail, or before you were charged with a crime, maybe before you got shot, maybe before someone got shot or killed. What were you doing? And then I ask you now, what are you doing? And if you are doing any, even if it's just one activity that you were doing then, now I can pretty much guarantee you're going to repeat your past. Because you can't even afford to do one. You have to be a completely different person. It's like going into witness protection, where your entire identity is changed. From the name to the social security number to the birth date, you are literally a new person. People who go into witness protection, they are not doing the things they did before they went into witness protection. They are living a completely different life. That's what you need to do if you don't want your past to repeat itself. If you don't want your past to repeat itself. Some of you will understand this message and some of you will not. Some of you will go away and still blame and still smack your lips and still roll your eyes and still mumble underneath your breath, and it'll go right over your head. And all I have to say to you is, don't bitch and complain when karma comes knocking at your door. And then there are some of you who have the ears to hear and understand, like, I understand what she's saying. I got to be a completely different person. It's like a person who goes from working a 9 to 5 and then they decide they want to own their own business and go out and become an entrepreneur. In order to be an entrepreneur, you got to be a completely different person than you were when you were working a 9 to 5. Completely different person. Everything about your activities, your choices, your decisions, the way you think has to change. But if you like where you at, if you like being negative Nancy and feel down Freddie and pity party Patty and drama Diana and gossipy Gabriella, if you like all that, then keep doing what you're doing. And don't complain when it's time for you to reap what you sow. Because it'll be too late then. The tears ain't going to matter. The crying and yelling and screaming. The apologies is not going to matter then. The wanting to change is not going to matter. Because this time around, it's going to be 3 times worse than it was the first time that you engaged in this behavior. It's going to be worse. It's going to be worse. because the grace and mercy has run out. And for those who are co-signing this behavior, you will suffer the same consequences as the person who engaged in the behavior. I don't care if it's just simply you listening to it when they calling you on the phone, or you liking their social media post, and you know the social media post is messy as hell. You know it's messy as hell, but you liking it. You are complicit in their behavior. This has been an hour and 5 minutes. Whoever's supposed to listen to it will listen to it. But Black people, we need to get it together. We too old. Like I said, between 30 and 45, you too old. I won't say too old. I don't want to use those words because words are powerful. You lived enough years to know better. How you're behaving is not okay. It's not okay. And I'm just really high. I'm really led to focus on the selfishness that you don't even give. You don't even give. You just take. You beg. You just take. And you don't give. You don't want to volunteer. You don't want to do nothing to help your community. I cannot comprehend, and I don't want to comprehend, to live this life and not give, and not be of service, and not wanting to help people, and not want anything in return but just to help people. Not help people in the sense of you being made a fool, but just genuinely helping people. And stop thinking the grass is greener on the other side, and stop looking at somebody's life for just a fraction of time, and then you try to copy it because you think people looking at you and you got to put on fronts. You only seeing that person for a fraction of time, and you trying to emulate that. Everything they do, you do. But you don't even know why they doing it. You think you know why they doing it, and that ain't even the reason. Stop being a copycat. Do what's best for you based on your life, not on somebody else's, not based on somebody else's life. Stop comparing your relationships to other people. Well, they go on trips and they do this and they go out on date nights, and why can't we do that? Stop. You don't know if the reason they go on trips and date nights is because he was beating her ass for 3 months straight, and that was his way of making it up to her. You don't know that. Stop thinking the grass is greener on the other side. Stop it. You create your life based on what is good for you and what works for you. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. Stop trying to be seen. Stop doing things because you think, it puts you on the same level as somebody else. Because you don't know why that person is doing certain things and engaging in certain activities. But you're trying to keep up with them. You're trying to compete with them. And then the funny thing about it is that people tend to compete. You tend to compete, and then you half-ass do it. You get the bootleg version of what you get the bootleg version of what they did. So that should tell you something, that you couldn't afford to emulate them in the first place. So you do the bootleg version. You do the cheap version. People, you don't know what it's costing them to do what they're doing. You don't know the sacrifices that they're making, but you just want to copy them. You want to be like them. And how old are you? How old are you? And we still doing that? Trying to keep up with the Joneses and compete? And you don't even know why they're doing it? You're assuming, you think you know, and we all know what assumption means. You make an ass out of you and me. You assuming. And then you look real stupid when you find out the truth of why they're doing certain things. You look real dumb. You stumble over your words. Without it, you start stuttering. Quit playing. Grow up. Because people will tell you all kind of things. Make their life appear a certain kind of way to one up you. Like you trying to compete with people who don't like you, or who aren't even thinking about you, but yet you trying to compete with them. Make it make sense. And then you realize further down the line, you begin to realize that y'all wasn't even on the same level anyway. That they're doing things that you can never duplicate, never replicate, because you're not even on that level. That you're trying to duplicate, replicate, imitate somebody that's who they really are. They really are on that level. They are naturally being them. And you looking foolish. Because you don't have, first of all, you don't have the calling, as church folks say, the anointing, the power to do what they're doing. You don't have the gifts and the talents to do what they're doing. You don't have the creativity to do what they're doing. You don't have the discipline to do what they're doing. You don't have the dedication to do what they're doing. You don't have the persistence to do what they're doing. You don't have the determination, the drive to do what they're doing. You don't have the relationships to do what they're doing. You don't have the intelligence to do what they're doing. I can keep going. Stop it. Just stop. I'm sharing with you this because this is what I've learned. I am 46 years old. That is, to me, still young. I still got a whole lot of living to do. But in 46 years, I have learned it's best to keep your eyes on you. Keep your eyes on you and not on anybody else. Because you'll get disappointed every time. And you'll realize that the people that you had expectations for, the people that you were trying to impress, you was doing way more than them. You were further along than them. They just was fronting to make it look like they was doing something. I'm here to tell you, I understand when people say if you the smartest one in the room, if you the smartest one in your circle of friends, then you need a whole new set of friends. If you and your friends, every year in and year out, y'all in the same place, telling the same story, just with different characters, you need new friends. If people, that you consider as friends and associates aren't giving you tidbits and wisdom and nuggets and knowledge and lessons and advice that will help you grow and be better than them, if they're keeping anything from you that can help you grow and transform and enlarge, those are not your friends. If they making sure that you stay underneath them, those aren't your friends. If they saying little smart stuff to you to let you know, to let you know that they see you struggling, they see that you really don't have it, but they saying smart little things jokingly, those aren't your friends. If they always making sure that you stay underneath them, they're not your friends. And if you got people in your life who, I don't take excuses. And maybe one day I'll do a video telling you my life story. I don't take excuses. I'm here to tell you. Like, I don't care if you got 15 felonies. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what your life story is. I'm going to tell you that you can still be of value and do something in this world. I'm going to look at you like, and so what can you do? What can you do to make a difference in the world? So what? You got a felony. So what? So what, Ann? That's going to be your excuse for the rest of your life? Just because you got a felony, it don't mean that you can't pick up a book and read it. Shoot, it's people on YouTube who are considered quote unquote influencers. People on TikTok, other social media platforms who are considered social media influencers. Some of them got felonies. That ain't stopped them. You can have an online business and have a felony. You can cook meals out of your home and sell them and have a felony. You can design and sew clothing and create your own clothing line and have a felony in your home. You can create a food truck with a felony. Don't play with me. That's just an excuse. That's just an excuse that you love to hold on to so you don't have to grow and be better. So you can have something to talk about. Because you don't feel relevant if you're not holding on to that felony and talking about that felony. You don't feel relevant. And I know that sounds weird and strange, but those that have ears to hear will understand what I'm saying. Some people hold on to their past and keep repeating it and keep bringing it up as an excuse because it makes them relevant. So people can feel sorry for them. So they can be pity party patty. Most people who are successful, I've been noticing, don't even talk about their past no more. Once they get to the level of success that they feel is good for them or what they wanted to achieve, you very rarely hear them talking about their past in a woe is me victim mentality type of way. As long as you continue to approach your past with a woe is me victim mentality, you're going to keep repeating it. If you use it so people can feel sorry for you, you're going to keep repeating it. Because people get stuck in their past and they bond with the trauma and the negativity of that, and they don't know who they are without it, without that negativity and trauma. So that's why they hold on to it. Because they just need somebody to listen and feel sorry for them. Remember, when someone feels sorry for you, they already think that you are sorry. Don't know who I'm talking to, but somebody needed to hear it the way it needed to be told and say it. If I just really feel like this is the window of time, the window is slowly, I won't even say slowly, it's rapidly closing. If you, and I said this a while ago, but now it's really coming to an end. If you don't use these last few months or the last remaining months of 2022 to change, you're going to be stuck in this cycle for some of you for the rest of your life. By the time that window of opportunity opens back up, it'll be too late for you, if you even alive to see it. Because some of you, your unwillingness to change is going to cost you your life. It's going to cost you dying before your time. It's going to cost your child, it's going to cost your child's life or your children's life. Someone is going to have to pay for you not taking this time to change. And I say it the way it's given to me to say it. You're going to die an untimely death. Your children will die an untimely death. If you don't use the last remaining months, I really feel like after 2022, it's a wrap. If you have not taken the time to change, the karma, the effects, you just going to be so mad. It's just going to be so... The years that are going to come after this, it will literally be hell on earth for you. Like the few people who are quote unquote cordial to you now and polite to you now and friendly to you now, it's like they're gonna shape shift and they're gonna be so mean to you and just be so abrasive toward you and just really treat you like shit if you don't change. Like the few people in your life who just maybe tolerate you or just are being friendly and polite to you, they're gonna change. You're gonna be irritating to them. You're gonna get on their nerves. They're gonna separate themselves from you. They're not gonna have too much to say to you if you don't use the remaining months of 2022 and change. People are gonna be really, you're gonna get a taste of your own medicine. And it ain't gonna be no fun when the rabbit got the gun. You are going to get a taste of your own medicine. You're going to get you reflected back to you. This has been another Mirrored Moment message with Tia DeShay. And as I end all my messages, pay attention to what you don't see, because what you don't see will help you make sense of what you are seeing. Karma is coming, people. And usually I don't do specific dates or time periods, but for some reason, June of this year, June of 2022, that's when we get the summer solstice. It's going down. It's going down in the paint, y'all. Judgment is going to rain heavy on this planet. Not only on a personal level, a local level, in your community, but globally. June 2022 is when we gonna see. If you have not done the things that I have said in this message, June 2022, if you didn't believe in hell, well, you ain't even got to believe in hell. You will experience a hell type of environment, experience, a life. Whatever you can think of as the worst, your worst fear coming upon you, the worst torment coming upon you, that's what you're going to experience in the last 6 months of 2022 if you don't get it together by June of 2022. It's going to be everything negative, dark, evil, malicious, petty, vindictive that you have done is going to be returned back to you personified. Like personified times 10. Like the evil that's going to be redistributed and returned back to you in your life, it's gonna be torment. That's all I can say. It's gonna be torment. So remember, pay attention to what you don't see, because what you don't see will help you make sense of what you are seeing. This has been another Mirror Moment message with Tia DeShay. Until next time.